Hey, Penny Prepper here. So I'm going to start processing my I'm going to process all three of them today. But I'm just going to get started here. I'm doing it basically bare bones, minimum equipment that I have. I'm going to be using this big stock pot to put all my burger meat into, that I'm going to grind up into burger meat. And then I have a bunch of gallon storage bags. So once I get the burger meat and everything, then I'll rinse it and put it in there and freeze it. And then I can actually grind the burger later. What I'll be using today for my KitchenAid, or not for my KitchenAid, for my Food Saver, is probably just the back straps. And if I decide that there's a really nice looking roast or some steaks or something, but most of this is probably going to get turned into burger and jerky, except for the back straps, or if I decide maybe a couple nice roasts. But so the only knife I really have to do this that's sharp enough and good enough quality, because you really want to keep your knife sharp, is I have this buck knife. It's a whitetail cutlery one, so it's really sharp, and I'm just going to be using that. And then I also have my sharpener here. So yeah, and then another thing, I'm going to be saving a lot of the fat and making candles, so I'll just put the fat in these gallon bags. But yeah, you can really do this minimum equipment. It's so windy out. I hope these leaves don't start blowing in and getting stuck on my deer. But I just bought a heavy duty tarp, and I have some sawhorses and a piece of plywood, fiber OSB, and so that's basically it. I just want to get these done because it's not really cold enough out to hang them, so I just need to get them done so that they don't get spoiled. So I would recommend, if you really want to get into doing your own butchering, I watch videos by the Bearded Butchers, and they're great. They have videos on butchering deer, buffalo, elk, lamb, everything, and they really do an in-depth great video. So I would recommend, if you really want to get into it, watching the Bearded Butchers. But I figure if I get about 50 pounds of meat off of each one of these, I'd probably get about 50 off each one. They're pretty big fat, maybe not quite off of the smallest one. But if you think about it, let's just say on average you spend $3 a pound on meat. That's a lot of money saved, especially since I'm not going to be taking these somewhere and paying for them to be processed. I'm just going to be doing it all myself. And like I said, you can invest in dollars into, Food Saver, a good knife set, whatever, and it saves you a lot of money. And not only that, but if you think that this is something that you're going to be able to learn after shit hits the fan, you're wrong. You're going to be hungry, and you're not, if you happen to be able to get an animal, then you're not going to know where to start. So this is definitely something that I would recommend learning. Even if you buy a cow, fatten it up a little bit and butcher it yourself, this is something that is definitely necessary to learn how to do. And so what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to remove a lot of the fat, because I will be saving it, and these were some very fat deer, but deer fat is a really hard fat, and it makes really good candles. So one thing just remember is that each muscle has its start and its stop, and you know, if you watch a couple videos, it's not that hard to start processing your own animals, because you can kind of basically just follow the muscle groups. But for me, this isn't going to be so bad, because I'm just going to be turning most of this into burger. So yeah, like I said, if you really want to learn, get into the Bearded Butchers, but I would definitely consider this not only a vital penny prep for saving money, but also an extremely knowledgeable skill. So on that note, I'm going to get started doing this, and then I'll show you kind of once I get it all separated out and stuff. Oh, and another thing that you'll definitely need is a garbage can. But I will get this started, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done, and then I'll be able to do a video on how I do my jerky and how I do my burger. So there's like so much grass still stuck in this. So yeah, it's, you know, it's not only going to save you money, but it's going to give you an extremely useful skill that you will need to have if shit hits the fan. And like I said, it doesn't take that much equipment to do it at home. You don't have to have a big, you know, fancy kitchen and all that. You just got to be willing to do some hard work, as usual. So, all right, I'm going to turn some music on and get going. Penny Prepper out.